Welcome to Season 2 of the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by community members and friends of Shekina Garden in Pai, Thailand. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode show notes and other information at shekinacommunity.com. Hi everyone, this is Ray and I'm sitting here with Ro in our sala in the late afternoon sunlight, moving toward evening, and I'm here to say that we are starting a brand new season of our podcast.
Woohoo!
It's season 3.
Oh my goodness!
We had 100 episodes in season 2 and we felt like, okay, it's time. Let's wrap this up and make a whole new season.
How exciting. Yeah, it's really cool to look back and see how many beautiful meditations we've had together here at Shekina Garden, and so many different people that have come and joined us. And yeah, it's beautiful just thinking back over the last little season of time and how long we've been doing this together, and to have that beautiful marker of 100 episodes is really cool. And it's exciting to be launching into the 3rd season of our podcast. How cool.
So this episode is actually our very first episode ever. It's not our first meditation. We had already been meditating for a long time, but we had thought about putting it out there for people to listen along to for a while. And we made the first one sometime in 2018, and here it is. You'll hear the original intro and all of that. And enjoy. Hope you enjoy.
Nice little blast from the past to kick off our next season.
Hi everyone, this is Rachel.
And this is Rowan, and this is week 1 of our podcast.
Yay! Week 1! Woo! It's the very first week. We've been meaning to do this for a long time. I'm so happy to be starting this podcast. In the 10 years since I started doing Christ-centered meditation, it has turned around my life and my practice in big ways, so I'm excited to share it.
I'm really excited to be putting this beautiful practice out into the world. We've had so many people asking us for a number of years to put out our meditations in a recorded format into the world. So the podcast is the way that we're going to do it.
Yay! So it's August 31st as we record this. We are heading out of the rainy season. So it's still raining, but not quite as hard. And it seems that we have not had a flood this year. I mean, we have not had a flood this year. And it seems like a good sign.
So far, so good.
I don't know if you guys know, but we had a big flood 2 years back, and it flooded our entire garden. So we're excited not to be flooded this year.
Absolutely. We've had quite a busy week with our community stuff here. We had a big community lunch this last week. And today, 2 of our community members are cycling over the mountains. 150 Ks on their kilometers.
3 of them.
150 kilometers. Did I say 3?
You said 2.
Oh, that's a lie. 3 of them. This weekend, we have 3 of our community members cycling 150 kilometers over the mountains.
Over the mountains.
Mountain bikes.
On their mountain
Canadians. On their mountain bikes. They're crazy.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're
very
amazing
impressed by
people.
them. So what have you been doing this week, Rachel? Tell us.
Well, you said we had a big community lunch. I helped make 50 sushi rolls for community lunch. And you weren't there, but we saved you some.
And they were delicious.
You were feeling a little bit sick, right? We saved you some. And so our good friend Amiko, who has been coming to community lunch for a long time and is part of our community here in Pai, she's from Japan, and she wanted to cook for us, but she's never done it for that many people before. So she was asking if it was okay if she cooked. And I was like, yeah. And then she said, do you think we can make sushi? And I was like, yeah. And then we made a lot of sushi rolls. So 50 sushi rolls, 8 pieces per roll. That was 400 pieces of sushi.
Oh my gosh. And how many people were there eating that?
Maybe a little less than 50.
Wow.
We had a lot. We each could pile her bellies full.
Awesome.
Yeah. And she made miso as well. So that was yummy.
What else has been happening?
Well, Neil is building brick garden beds, and so I got to help him a little bit with that yesterday, and that's been fun. We've been gardening, doing meditations, devotion circle, all the normal stuff. And so I just did my little line of bricks and pretended that I'm being very helpful. But
you're a bricklayer,
Neil,
basically.
Yeah, basically I'm a bricklayer now. Neil is actually mostly doing it single-handedly, but every once in a while I play around and help him.
Awesome. So good. I made little signs yesterday in the garden for our compost. So painting little hook-on signs that go onto our compost bays that say, feed me, and then you can flip them over, and on the other side it says, do not feed. And I just drew little pictures and had a good time in the workshop with paint, which was fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
So cool. This podcast is supported by you. So we want to keep this meditation podcast ad-free because ads and meditation just, I don't know, it doesn't seem right. So our patrons at patreon.com support us for as little as $1 a month. And patrons get extra audio each month in the form of another meditation or a recorded Q&A or conversation.
And support for this podcast helps to keep Shekina communities running and free for travelers and spiritual seekers. And it helps us know that you appreciate what we're doing and putting out this good practice into the world. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much for your support. Let's start the meditation.
So as we start, let's find a comfortable position for our bodies. There's no rules about staying still for the whole time, but to begin with, let's find a position that we can hold for some time. You might like to roll your shoulders back. You might like to tuck your hips a little. You might like to imagine that there's a string pulling your spine up nice and tall. Just finding a position where you can breathe comfortably and naturally. Finding a place of stillness just to begin our time. And letting our focus come to our breath. Let's just notice all the sensations in our body as our breath comes in and out. Noticing what parts of our body move. Perhaps noticing the temperature of the air as it goes in and out of our nostrils. Tracing the path of the air in and out of our bodies. You might like to imagine how your breath oxygenates your blood and how that blood flows around your body to every single part. How that breath brings life to your whole body. And as we breathe, let's bring relaxation to our bodies. Beginning with our feet. On each breath, let's imagine a part of our body in our mind's eye. And as we breathe in, imagining it, picturing it. And as we breathe out, letting go of any tension, letting go of any stress in that part of the body, just as much as is available to you today. So we'll work our way up our body from our feet, picturing each section of our body, breathing and relaxing. I'll just give us a couple of minutes to work our way all the way up our body. Making your way up your body, taking the next few breaths to let go of your shoulders, to bring relaxation to your arms and hands, to let the muscles in your neck and throat be relaxed. To let your jaw be relaxed, the muscles in your face, your tongue, around your brow and your eyes. Letting all those muscles be relaxed and still. Even the top of your head, your scalp, letting it be relaxed. Letting your whole body just be still and relaxed with a natural, comfortable breath. Often when we bring stillness and relaxation to our body, we can notice our minds are not yet still or relaxed. So let's take a few moments to notice what's happening in the inner world, our thoughts and feelings. Let's turn our attention to our thought life, just noticing, not judging, being kind to ourselves, but just noticing what is it that we're thinking about this morning. Is there anything that we're worried about? Is there a to-do list that's pressing in on our mind? Is there any particular anxieties that are concerning us? Just noticing them. Whatever is happening in your heart and mind, it's not wrong, it's just happening. Let's just notice it. And if this seems useful to you, you might like to imagine taking each thought or concern and purposefully putting it to the side for this time of our meditation practice. You might like to imagine putting it in a box or away on a shelf, somewhere where it's not going to bother you, where it'll be safe and kept. If you wish to, you can take it down or take it out again at the end of the meditation. But for this time, it doesn't need to bother you. Normal to experience thoughts or feelings that continue to try to bother you, that come back, that return to our minds. When this happens during the meditation, you might like to just imagine again taking it consciously and putting it to the side or putting it away, clearing some space for this special practice. As we turn to our text for this morning, if it feels right to you, you might like to place your hands palm upward on your knees or in your lap as a sign to the divine of receiving, of listening. A sign of being aware of the presence of the divine and saying, I'm listening. I'm open to you today. Or whatever other physical representation or inner representation you might like to make to that intention. The scripture I'll be reading this morning is Psalm 32, verses 1 to 5. During this first reading, I just invite you to let the words wash over you. And perhaps begin to look for one word or phrase or a sentence that captures your imagination. Something that might stand out or seem to shine. Feel free to have a playful anticipation. What could the word be? What might it be that God brings to your attention this morning? From Psalm 32. Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the one against whom the Lord counts no iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. For when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. I acknowledged my sin to you, and I did not cover my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. For this second reading, I'll read each sentence twice and then leave quite a bit of silence, a few minutes silence after each sentence. I invite you in that silence to listen, to play, to investigate with your mind, to see what each of the words or sentences brings up for you, perhaps in memory, in imagination, in pictures, any way that seems right to you. You might like to ask the divine again, what is it that you would have me notice from this passage today? What would you say to me from these words today? Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the one against whom the Lord counts no iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. Blessed is the one against whom the Lord counts no iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. For when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. I acknowledged my sin to you, and I did not cover my iniquity. I acknowledged my sin to you, and I did not cover my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. During this last reading, you might like to again ask the Divine to bring a phrase or a word to your attention. You might also like to ask, why is it that I need to hear this today? What is it about this phrase or word that I need to understand today? Or you might like to offer back your own response to the Divine, to these words. Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the one against whom the Lord counts no iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. For when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. I acknowledged my sin to you, and I did not cover my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. We're slowly going to bring our attention back to the here and now. Back to our breath. Back to our bodies. Back to our space in the circle with each other.
Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation available each week, So don't forget to subscribe to iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Also, you can rate or review on iTunes or sign up as a patron at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. Have a beautiful week. Many blessings to you.